Good morning. Welcome back and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to decorate some of my Whack and Stack cards. I just rediscovered these cards. They were in at my dad's, still in my craft stuff from last winter. So I had done these probably off camera and just sort of stuffed them back in a bag of assorted papers. And I came across them Tuesday. Day before yesterday, and they've been kind of on my mind and they've been on my desk, and it's time to find something to craft. So I thought, let's use these. So I've got two different mauve scrapbook papers and some music paper on these ones, and I'm going to decorate them with the focal point being these beautiful die cuts that I got last fall. 3 different ones, all from the same set. So those are our focal points, but I want to do some more stuff in behind them and around them. I don't just want to plunk them on there, but I also don't want to cover my Whack and Stack too much. So, but I do have some stuff picked out, a few elements for each one. So let's just play around with some organizing. I've got a this side up tag that I made, ticket label, I guess it is. And then these are fussy cuts, Glengarry fine cheese. They were out of a magazine that I was fussy cutting. I think it might have been like a local travel advertising thing. Just going to trim this up a bit. Cut it out kind of rough the first time around. So I was thinking with this that I don't really want to focus on the fine cheese, just more the flowers. I'm going to put this down here and kind of cover up the word cheese. And then I've got some little bird. I think behind this I would like some lace or doily. Maybe one of these. I'm thinking the larger one will have to be something like that and that, but this also needs to be inked so that we can see it. I almost think that when I get die cuts, I should just ink them right away before I even store them, because I always end up inking them. And I have discovered about myself that I much prefer using die cuts to stickers. And this little trio, I've got a little L-shaped one here that could go up in the corner. I've got just a straight up and down one. So I kind of want to balance this by putting this up a little higher. Something else right here. I've got this label. It's kind of nondescript, doesn't say much. Maybe I'll stamp something on it or write something on it. me some ribbon. Looking for something in a darker purple. I haven't organized my ribbon. I started these drawers and I haven't really completely organized them yet. I've even familiarized myself with what's in them yet. There's something. Torn fabric off the edge of a piece of fabric. So just something to balance the darkness here. I'm going to run that up the edge, maybe with the torn bit going off the edge. And then these, I don't really want to cover the music part. I don't mind covering the words. I'm thinking more like that. I'll probably use a little bit of this on each of these cards. So let me get this glued down. I do like the idea of those overlapping it. So I'm going to ink those a bit. This is just cut out of scrapbook paper, these little bird stamps. It's almost like a cardstock thickness. And then this is going to go here. I gotta do more of these little labels with the stamps. They were just over catalog pages. And they just surprised me how good they looked. Here I'm just gonna ink the edges of this just a bit. Keep it white in the middle. And glue it down. That about there. I'm just going to kind of stretch it out. Now this was going to go here. I will tuck it in underneath these. I will just give that another couple dabs of glue under those ends. Now this can go just off center of the doily and down a bit. bottom edge is going to be hanging off, so that's why I'm not putting glue there. I actually think it needs a little something under here to hold it up. And what I've discovered that I can do there, like if you have those foam pop dots, of course you can use those, but I've been trying to use up some of my nondescript buttons by using those underneath stuff like this. So I would just take this and lift it a bit and stick a button there and just hold that, and that's going to hold that up so that it doesn't collapse down onto the card below. Keep it level. So I think that one turned out pretty good. Maybe a phrase or something. Not always, but I often don't do phrases, and I don't know why. So here I've got a similar assortment. I've got one of these stamped labels. I've got a different round label that says Les Jardins Écologistes Grégoire. So I'm going to do a similar kind of thing with it. Down in this corner. Or maybe I'll switch my orientation this time. Put this over here. Actually, I'm not anti-religious, but I don't want to put something religious on if I don't know who's getting it, where it's going to end up. I'm just going to cover up the part that says "Crown Him Lord" 3 times in a row. It's not my intention to be a religious card. It would just happen to be religious music. Plunk that down about there. I just love the way those stretch out and lay nice and flat. And this is going to go somewhere here. So I'm going to switch this back to over here. And I'll put this in under there. Oh, I've got these two that I was going to use. And take that and put that over there. I love this spray of dragonflies, but I've often cut it up and use the little individual ones. That's what it's missing. I think I'm just going to use the 3 in a row. Make this darling thing. And this definitely needs ink. My button trick. Where's this going to go? This is going to go about here. So my button needs to be about here. Some more glue on top of it. I want to glue mostly just up there. Yeah, I think these actually came out of this Calia book. Now that's got a clipped wing here, so I want to tuck it underneath where that won't be seen. And these are always better with the tweezers. Just dab it instead of rubbing it. And then I actually have these bee stickers that I wanted to try as well. Now, it doesn't make sense because the bee is so much bigger than the dragonfly though, so maybe I won't. Maybe I'll put a bee on the back side of each of them. These are beautiful stickers from Temu. I guess I could do this. Doesn't really show up well though against that green. No, it's lifting the green. So I'll leave it. And I didn't glue this one down. And this one I'm going to put on top of the purple instead of on top of the green label. I think it'll look better. And one more to go. I think I better continue with the doily theme. I do want to switch sides. I haven't been able to switch sides. So like that and like that. That's not quite the right proportion for me. So I'm going to just tear this and re-ink that. And the problem is I'm not covering the word cheese. Not that it matters. Isn't that funny how you get a quirky thing and you can't let go of it? Like I don't want to see the word cheese. If I would just let it be, it'd be fine. I know it would. Some things are just hard to let go of. Oh, and I didn't get any, before I go any further on this one, I didn't get any of this on here. So let's put it here. Ending about here, I guess. Just fringe up that end. That's not the one I tore it off of, is it? I wonder if I could put that there somewhere. Another thing is I haven't inked these. Okay, I'm going to glue this up in the corner. This down. Fabric can go here. I think I'll end it about there. And a dragonfly. Let's see here. I'm going to have to sacrifice one to get one. I don't have any of these stamps on here this time. So maybe down in this corner, I'll put, I don't want that red one. Put another trio. Put it sideways. No, put it this way. There we go. I'll just do some inking and they'll be done. So I already inked that bottom edge. Not heavily inking these because I want them still to be kind of pretty, but they just don't feel done till I've done this to them. There, so there's 3 rather pretty whack and stack cards decorated. And I think because the background was quieter and then I used darker elements on the top, it works. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that process, and I hope that you will make some whack and stacks and decorate some as well. If you haven't seen the whack and stack videos, I've got 2 of them, and I will link them in the description box below for you to check out. And so like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.